Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shekhar Iyer. Joining me today is Shekhar Iyer. Let's welcome him. Some hot, sensational stuff from Tamil Nadu. Sir, namaskaram and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you, sir?
Namaskaram, and Vanakkam also, sir. Because
Vanakkam indeed. Yes.
the big question that is haunting everybody following that Karur tragedy, whether actor Vijay is is getting ready to shake hands with the BJP to save himself and his party from the DMK onslaught. That's the first question we are taking up today. The other thing which is also important is there are again signs that things are hotting up between India and Pakistan, not just because of the
Yes.
Asia Cup, trophy chori, but rather things on the border is also getting very sensitive, and this time not in Kashmir. So we'll talk about that. And also, there is good news on the Gaza front in the sense that Hamas has finally signaled that it will accept the Trump's peace plan and to start working on releasing the hostages in return for Israel releasing the Palestinian terrorist prisoners. So these are the three things we are taking up. Let's start with this actor Vijay. Ever since the tragedy happened on September 27th, which is the last Saturday when we discussed the issue as the news broke, Tamil Vetri Kachi, the rank and file have been on the, I would say, have been like cats on, hot tin roof. Because there has been crackdown on the rank and file, cases have been registered, police are looking for even for top leaders, and today a DMK minister says that if necessary we will arrest Vijay also for the stampede that happened when Vijay took out that road show. Of course, there has been a lot of narrative on who was responsible for the tragedy, which claimed 41 people, including 19 women. I mean, you can imagine most of them, and 10 children. So, and they have already arrested some of the Karur district functionaries of the party, and they have registered case against number 2 and number 3. That is Adav Arjuna, who is the chief of their election management. Cases have been registered against him, and police are looking for him, and also the general secretary called Busy Anand and a joint general secretary called Nirmal Kumar. These people have failed to get anticipatory bail from Madras High Court, so therefore they are on the run. And Adav Arjuna has landed in Delhi. He has been consulting lawyers, and and the whole talk is that. All the time they're talking is that that BJP is softening up because BJP had trusted NDA team led by Annamalai and consisting of all members of parliament. They went with there, and before that, Prime Minister had dispatched Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to talk to the victims and also to find out if the money sanctioned by the PMO for the families of the victims, whether that money has reached, whether it was supposed to reach through the digital benefit transfer. So one can see how the BJP is acting very fast. Now, opposition too, particularly AIDMK, even its leader, Edappadi Palaniswamy, has said, yes, Vijay could also be held responsible for what happened, but the bigger blame has to be taken by the district administration, which failed to make a foolproof arrangements for actor Vijay and his team. I mean, that the crowds would swell, everybody knew, but there were very few policemen on the ground. And all these arguments about that party said 10,000 and we saw more than 35,000 or 50,000 come, so we are not responsible. Those arguments don't hold water. But in the meantime, sir, the Tamil Vetri Kachi moved the Madras High Court seeking a CBI inquiry, because BJP is also talking of a CBI inquiry. AIDMK is also supporting CBI inquiry. So somewhere along, actor Vijay, who has been criticized for not visiting the victims, not going to the hospital, but rather just fleeing from the spot of the stampede and taking a special flight back to Chennai. He has come under criticism, though he has come out with a video message saying that he is too deeply shocked and beyond words to express anything. But one thing is getting clear, that this is a time now he has to take an important call. Can he do it alone? Looks like it's getting difficult, because the DMK and its supporting mouthpieces and functionaries and spokespersons and the ministers, they are not mincing words in calling Vijay is the killer, that Vijay is responsible for the stampede. And Vijay finds himself that he has not been able to get out of his home because he wants to visit the families. But the twist in the tail is that Rahul Gandhi has also been reaching out to Actor Vijay. A section of the Congress, which includes leaders like K.C. Venugopal and a member of parliament like Manikam Thakur, they are, telling the Congress High Command, particularly Rahul Gandhi, that let's not leave him, let's not let him go to the NDA side. That's why today you had Manikam Thakur, remarking to reporters that, Vijay should be wary of the BJP. You should know why they are coming to him. But for Vijay, a CBI inquiry is what will give him some breather, because that even though there is a one-woman commission of inquiry led by a retired judge, Aruna Jagdishan, but the pronouncement has already been made. The Tamil Nadu government, Tamil Nadu police, and also the Karur, the minister who belongs to Karur, Senthil Balaji, saying it's all because of Vijay. The blame has already been cast. They have already pronounced the verdict, and they are going through a drill of inquiry. And in the meantime, Madras High Court judge, who happens to be son of a former DMK MLA, that's a different matter, he has rejected the plea for a CBI inquiry, and the judge has in turn said the the Tamil Nadu government should go for a single judge, SIT, and he has even named an officer. And he said that SIT can go into it, no need for a CBI inquiry. So you are seeing that Tamil Vetri Kachi people have reached Delhi and they're trying to talk to lawyers, and Adav Arjuna has been in the forefront. I believe he has spoken to even Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress, because all these top leaders of the Tamil Vetri Kachi are looking for an anticipatory bail because they expect to get arrested anytime. Police are already looking for the General Secretary, that is, who is the right-hand man of Vijay, that is Anand, Busy Anand, as well as Nirmal Kumar and Adav Arjuna also. Sir.
Sir, just wanted to clarify. Some people call him Bussy, Bussy Anand. Some people replace the B with P. I don't want to say anything. And this guy is an ex-MLA from Pondicherry, Puducherry, I should say. So, they are very light in terms of political experience, the TVK. It is running on hype and also on the fact that Joseph Vijay, I should say, is sort of a Tamil superstar of something. Viewers, I want to tell you, this Tamil Nadu is a glorious space of combinations of confusing and contradiction. I'll give you an example. In 2009, there was a movie that came called Naan Kadavul, means I am God. Okay, it's about Aghoris. And there was a song there was very impactful. If you remember recently when Ilayaraja was performing in front of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that song was sung, Om Shivoham. The thing about it is, it's based on a book written by a dharmic author called Jayamohan, and in Tamil it says Seventh World, and he also wrote the screenplay for this movie, Naan Kadavul. And the main actor is actually a Muslim. His name is Arya. Now you see what I'm trying to say, right? When it comes to making a movie and believing in various things, rituals and all that stuff, Tamil Nadu suddenly can forget about the fact that you have a Muslim hero, you're having a very sharp Hindu subject, life about Aghoris, and this guy is an Aghori and so on and so forth. And yet, this movie won the best national award for the best direction. It won a lot of other awards. I'm sure it did not do well in the box office because people's mind has been changed. But Tamil Nadu is capable of making this once in a while, these gems of movies. So never rule out Tamil Nadu. And Joseph Vijay joining up with BJP, you can never rule it out. However, I have some reservations. I'd like you to finish this topic and then I'll give one or two reservations, what I think could be a problem. Sir, over to you.
Sir, no, the whole thing is, of course, BJP has softened towards Vijay. Though Vijay was very critical of the Prime Minister till the October 27 stampede. He was critical of DMK. And he was saying that BJP is my ideological enemy, whereas DMK is a political rival. And therefore, he was making fun of the Prime Minister also. But as soon as the stampede has happened, the BJP leaders did criticize Vijay for failing to, make proper arrangements and not to think of the security of the people. And at the same time, because nobody can give a clean sheet to the local administration, because the case against Vijay that is being built by the Tamil Nadu government is he did not follow the conditions laid for granting him the license to hold the rally and the road show. Number two, he did not stick to a time schedule. There was a delay. Consequently, crowds kept swelling. And number three, he did not make himself visible through the route. So the crowd started following his motorcade. And number four, his volunteers, the party, the organizers themselves failed to make proper arrangements or allow a passage for the bus to move or for the ambulances to come. Because Vijay was sitting in a bus and he addressed two rallies, he would come up to the top of the bus and wave. But in this case, there is the whole journey, Vijay's journey through Karur is a small town, was delayed because he wanted the crowds to swell. Rather, his party's organizers wanted the crowd to swell. Therefore, when the crowds became uncontrollable, then there was nobody to hold them back. And the crowd consisted of a number of women with the kids along. Because right from beginning, women have been crazy, particularly the cinema-going types have been crazy about seeing their hero in real life. And they have been bringing their kids along, some of them holding them on their arms, and the whole thing collapsed. Now, Vijay's argument is, look, I have gone through this rally, I did this road shows in Tiruchi, I have done it in other places, but this thing didn't happen. Why did it happen here? So the government, of course, initially Stalin struck a kind of a statesman-like note, saying that, we are not blaming anybody, nobody can be blamed, let the inquiry happen. And no leader would want his supporters are to face this kind of situation. Basically saying we are not targeting Vijay. But soon afterwards, what we saw was that the DMK supporting journalists or others who speak as political analysts and critics, and they started making up a case against Vijay. The case against Vijay was he had just fled from the scene. He did not visit the hospitals. He did not talk to the families. He did not issue any appeal for calm. He just rushed out and he flew back to Chennai. And even when he landed in Chennai, he did not talk to the media. And later, an hour later, after he reached home, he issued a statement. And it was only after 2 or 3 days he came with a video message. Even that video message was seen as not apologetic enough, not showing remorse, etc., etc. Now, since then, the criticism, and then when he spoke finally, he made it very clear that there was a conspiracy, and he seemed to blame the DMK and its leaders and the state government, a conspiracy to give him a bad name and hang him. So after that, the DMK has been very unkind to him. They have been attacking left and right, and the police registered these cases. And because of the conspiracy theory, so the Stalin decided that the defense for the state government would be made by the officials themselves. But then soon NDA team arrived under Annamalai. In between, you had the finance minister going. When the NDA team arrived, and when they spoke to a number of people in Karur, That's the time when alarm bells started ringing in DMK headquarters. And Karur's nominee, Senthil Balaji, being the strong man he is, he decided to take charge himself and held a press conference where he explained why he was present there, what did he do, and all this charge about slippers being thrown at him and whether his people were creating problems. Those are all bunkum, etc., etc. But in the petition before the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court, the TVK lawyers did mention, they said they suspected the role of supporters of Senthil Balaji having played some role to disrupt that gathering. Now, we do not know what happened actually. So all these theories and narratives have been going on. It is in this context you find Vijay suddenly is friendless. And the stance he had taken that he would not align with either of them, either with ADMK or with BJP, and he accused ADMK of joining hands with the BJP. Therefore, they are as, and therefore ADMK also would get would get its quota of criticism from him, and he has been doing that. But post September 27 stampede, he finds himself in a situation where he cannot fight too many rivals. Now his main rival is DMK. And the fact that his supporters, his leaders are seeking CBI inquiry, that means they have more faith in Prime Minister Modi and the central government than with the state government. Now, interestingly, sir, this is where I think we need to understand how everybody says nobody wants to score a political point. This is an issue where politics should not come in. Of course, DMK has been saying it, Stalin himself has, but politics is already there. In the sense, you saw, we are told that Stalin, Rahul Gandhi spoke to Stalin, and Stalin wanted Rahul, to pull up Vijay, saying that he should not be doing this. Instead, what we heard was Rahul spoke to Vijay, assured him of support and sympathy for whatever has happened. This greatly upset the DMK. They thought Rahul would come up with some statement, but Rahul is being advised by leaders like KCP, who say, look, we should not let Vijay join the opposition. Because if some understanding, and this is something that is worrying even a person, Nam Tamil Katsi leader like Seeman. He says, BJP is trying to win. Why is BJP trying to, try to take Vijay to their side? Which means Vijay remains such a big factor in the run-up to these elections. Definitely BJP, ADMK alliance would want him on their side. And Vijay himself doesn't know what to do in this situation. But there's enough reasons at the moment, as things are evolving, that if all his number 2, number 3 are arrested, Vijay would definitely need some help. And that which BJP is already signaled by adopting a soft stance towards him and a harsher stance towards the DMK government for letting the administration failing to do its duty. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Viewers, some things I completely agree with Shekhar ji, but I also have a little bit of what you can say benefit of hindsight, if you will. I would like to take our viewers back to the time when Rajni, for the last time, I think he has said that he is going to enter politics 2 or 3 times. He said he was going to enter, I think this was before 2021. And then he was shooting a movie in Hyderabad where he didn't feel well. And then suddenly he finished that thing and he then said that he is not going to start the party for the 3rd time or something like that. Now, the story behind is that the movie that he was shooting for, whose movie was it? Red Giant. In Tamil Nadu, you cannot even, a pigeon can't fly without the permission of DMK, which has a vice-like grip on the movie industry. Now, it is believed that 2 more movies of Vijay are pending release, and both these are with the Red Giant, which is Udayanidhi Stalin, and all of them in the first family, DMK. You can say whatever you want. This is their final trump card, in my opinion. But having seen this incident, because Rajni never took part in any shows, he did not test his strength on the ground, unlike Vijay, who decided to test his strength on the ground. So that's a big difference, viewers. So this is a genie that has come out of the bottle, and it might be difficult for the DMK to put it back into the bottle. Now, viewers, I also want you to understand, it is not Simon, it's not Seaman, it is Sebastian Simon. That is Nam Tamilar Katchi. It is not Vijay, it is Joseph Vijay, another Christian. And it is believed that the VCK, Tol Tiruma Valavan, is also a practicing Christian. People will not say the Tol guy is a real maverick, because he is always contesting under scheduled caste constituency, reserved constituencies. In fact, people have said that the number of MLAs that have gotten elected to the assembly under the Tamil, what is it, Vidudalai Thiruttai Katchi, they are all crypto Christians. Understand this, viewers. Please understand this. Even if Joseph Vijay were to, jump on the bandwagon with NDA, okay, and this is not going to be such an easy coalition to manage for Amit Shah. I'm saying Amit Shah because he's the guy who's Chanakya of BJP. Whether he is the home minister or not is besides the point. My point I'm trying to say is tread very carefully. And also, sir, I think I said this last Saturday also, Senthil Balaji does not have a lot of credibility when he says that he had nothing to do with the shoe throwing or all the so-called violence created, because his gundas broke the arm of an IT officer when they had come to raid. You don't touch any government officer. This is a case going on separately. So, Mr. Senthil Balaji, you don't have credibility on your side. You've also accepted that you got bribes. You took bribes for giving jobs in the government, and then you also returned the bribes. Taking the bribes and returning it doesn't matter. It's still a crime. And that case is still hanging on your neck. So, sir, BJP can do a clinical job. I've been saying this many times, Shekharji, and I'll stop in this one line. Take one offense of DMK, like drugs. See it through. Either that, I would like them to do that, because that is actually going to affect the integrity of the country. Sir, every street corner drugs are available, sir. Every pawn shop, right? That small pottikada, they say in Tamil Nadu. Pottikada means it looks like a box. You are able to get any drug you want, Shekharji, even in rural Tamil Nadu. Very, very scary situation, sir. I think that also needs to be kept in mind. And all I would say is I'll continue to call these people for what they are. If it happens as a coalition and if NDA wins, so be it. But always be very, very wary of them. Over to you, sir.
Sir, Annamalai, reached Delhi yesterday, and today he has met senior leaders here in Delhi. And they have appointed a new in charge for Tamil Nadu, that is Jay Panda. Jay Panda is the BJP vice president. He's
Vijay Panda. Yes.
Vijay Panda. He calls himself Jay Panda. And he managed the Delhi elections, which saw BJP, sweeping to power. He's seen as a good manager. He himself belongs to an industrialist family. Now, he will be visiting Tamil Nadu in the next few days, and he's going to talk to all the senior leaders. And apparently, Annamalai had spoken to several leaders and about the possibility of, the BJP's, the main target being to see that how to unite all the opposition votes. And because that's a most important thing. And because they see that this whole September 27th stampede is an opportunity to unite the opposition, to prevent the division of votes. So therefore, things are happening very fast. But as I said, Congress is also trying. And of course, Vijay will have a lot of reservation in shaking hands with BJP, because his support base and his patrons will not want him to join hands with BJP. But then, if it is a question of fighting the strong arm of the DMK machinery, of the law and order machinery as well as the political machinery, he would need some protection from Delhi. Because even when Jayalalitha was in the opposition, she always looked the party that was power in Delhi. And Vijay probably post this stampede episode, which has raised a lot of question about even Vijay himself. So therefore, there is a pressure on him, and because AIDMK would want that things are made easier for this alliance to win the elections. But one thing is clear, sir. Whether Vijay joins the ADMK BJP alliance or not is secondary. But I can sense one thing: DMK's confidence level has come down. In the sense that after Vijay started drawing crowds and post this stampede episode with politics playing out and NDA delegation visiting there, all these incidents, they have rattled DMK as much as these incidents have rattled Vijay. So obviously nobody in Tamil Nadu is today talking of 200 plus seats for DMK, which was the talk, 6 months ago, that this is going, DMK will make a clean sweep, they will come back, they'll be in power for the third time. But at the moment, it doesn't look like that. Now it has become very difficult because, so there is a strong anti-incumbency against the team. You mentioned about the drug problem, equally law and order issue, safety of women, and corruption. Corruption has been, at every level, and a common man has already seen the, I would say, the brutal side of corruption. So therefore, there is a strong anti-incumbency. Now, DMK managers may think that if you arrest Vijay or you take action against his second line leaders, perhaps the party will collapse. But I don't think that will happen because it can boomerang. Arresting Vijay could also give a big impetus to the opposition because it would be seen as an act of vendetta. And Vijay popularity has remained unquestioned, though this Karur episode dented his appeal to an extent that why he did not foresee this and why he did not go to the Karur or speak to the victims or their families, why he did not do that. That's the charge. But then he would be wanting to visit Karur. In fact, in their court application, they have sought special permission to go there. Now, some people are also seeing that there is a possibility Rahul Gandhi, after his return from Colombia, he may also go to Karur. Now, if Rahul Gandhi were to visit Karur, how would Stalin and other DMK leaders take it? Sir, before this Karur episode, the most talked about thing was that liquor tragedy in Kallakurichi, where 66 people died, more people than in Karur lost life. That because of illegal brewery, illegal liquor, illicit liquor, which was a poison. And so many people died, including many women. Now, nobody bothered to visit Kallakurichi. Even Stalin did not go. So all the time when they were asking questions about why PM did not visit Manipur, they themselves visit the Kallakurichi. And all the victims belong to Dalit families. So every time I am mentioning Kallakurichi along with Karur because these are the tragedies that are being mentioned, are being used. The question, why did not Stalin go there? Why did not Vijay come to Karur? These are questions that are being, bandied about. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And viewers, I have to share some truths about, people like Joseph Vijay. In my book, he was born a Hindu. And, you guys can tell me, no, it's not. In my book, he was born a Hindu. They belong to what is called as the Pillai community. You know what Pillai means? Son of God. And the reason that name came was because there used to be a tradition of what is called as Devadasis. These were married to the temples, and they anytime there is a puja in an Agama temple, after the puja, there will be a Oduvar who will sing a song, about 1 minute or 2 minutes. Then that will be followed by a dance of a Devadasi in front of the Murti. That day's special occasion, the theme will reflect that. This used to be a big deal. Okay, so when we say that, so who are Pillais? Pillais are, a mix of many communities, Kshatriyas, Brahmins, and Devadasi community. They are among the most pious and religious Hindu communities. They know their dharma, they know their Vedas. Okay, so how this man suddenly says now he is converted to Christianity, somebody can tell me what it is. But basically, the point I'm trying to make is Tamil Nadu, it is religious, but you can't use Hindutva card. You have to use it in a different way. I'm just giving unasked for advice to BJP. So it's not so easy to suddenly use something. Okay, we'll use this card and we'll win. So there is something beyond. You need to find that real correct mix. Shekharji will agree with me. That mix has a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and so on and so forth. I'll leave it to this, sir. We have a lot of other topics to also discuss. Let's go to the second one, India's red line for Pakistan. Over to you, sir.
Sir, we have seen in the last few days, right from Vijay Dashami Day, India has been raising new red lines for Pakistan. And it started with Defense Minister visiting Bhuj, which is in Kutch district of Gujarat. And he said that, any misadventure by Pakistan in the Sir Creek region would result in a decisive strike by India. Now, why did Rajnath mention about the Sir Creek area? And Rajnath's words were very strong. He said if Pakistan wants to remain on the world map, then it must stop entertaining any adventure. That was a very, very strong remark. Now, as we know, Sir Creek is actually a tidal estuary in the marshy Rann of Kutch area. And it separates Gujarat on the Indian side with Sindh on the Pakistan side. Now, it's mostly inhabitable. Nobody can, because it's a marshy area. But of interest is that it is believed there are rich oil reserves in that region. Secondly, there is abundant fish availability, which is coveted by fishermen of both Pakistan and India. And since 2019, what we have seen is Pakistan has intensified its military operations in that region, in the sense that it has built up infrastructure there, and it has also deployed coastal defense, and it's increased its naval presence in that area, and it has even established new naval posts, and also strengthened its air defense by way of radar and other defense hardware being placed in those places. Now, the question is, why did Rajnath give such a warning on a Vijay Dashami Day? He had gone to address the forward posts of our defense forces in that region. Now, why did he say that? Now, Pakistan, the dispute is, it is unresolved dispute on the international border. The Sir Creek part is, sir, Pakistan, says that there was a resolution in 1914. And, the border in that area was placed at the estuary line. Now, they claim the eastern bank of the estuary, which means right up to the India side. India says it applies the principle, what is called Thalweg principle, which says it should be the middle of the estuary. You cannot come to the eastern side. If western side is Sindh, then the eastern side is Gujarat. Now, the real problem is in terms of the fact that there are tidal waves, and the tidal behavior also makes it difficult to demarcate. Now, in fact, in 1968 there was a tribunal which finalized most part of the Sir Creek area, but there were unresolved spots. Now, what has happened is in the last few months, fishermen have been getting arrested. Sometimes our fishermen are caught by the Pakistani authorities, or sometimes Pakistan fishermen stray in here and they are also held. Now, but the warning that Rajnath gave from from Bhuj is really serious warning. Why has the defense, and Rajnath is not a person who would talk off his hat. He never does that. His words are always measured. But this time, he chose to remind Pakistan, look, in 1965, our troops had reached close to on the outskirts of Lahore. And do not forget, from Sir Creek, there is a one route leading to Karachi. And Rajnath Singh's statement came just days after Army Chief Upendra Dwivedi. He also made a very strong statement saying that next time you try some nasty thing like this Pahalgam attack, be sure this time we will take it to finish. Now, Upendra is saying it first, then it is followed by the Rajnath statement, Upendra Singh, and then Air Chief Marshal AP Singh, disclosed. There was a usual presser to mark the Air Force Day, which is on October 8. He said, we shot down 10 Pakistani jets. 9 to 10 Pakistani jets went down, including F-16 and Chinese-made J-17. And we destroyed a number of raiders. I mean, they can go on saying anything about our Rafales being shot down. Well, they can have their own Manoranjan ki kahani. And all these taken together, sir, these are not just remarks coming like that. There is something happening on the border area. Sers Creek I mentioned, but I think our defense forces are getting some kind of intelligence as to the possibility of Pakistan planning a next misadventure. Buoyed by the fact that Trump has been meeting their prime minister, their field marshal, and Pakistan in turn asking US to develop another port near Balochistan to counter our port, which is in the one port which we have paid money in Iran.
You mean Chabahar?
Yes. So, and all these noises that are coming is, and Pakistan feels that since after they could not do anything when under Operation Sindhu, they are itching for another kind of a standoff, at which we are getting ready. So these new red lines that are drawn are very significant ones, and many people are reading between lines. One thing is clear, sir, India's response, which is because the warnings that are being given now by our military heads as well as by our defense minister, it means if, God forbid, if there were to be some other misadventure or some terrorist attack or some military escalation, I think the response will be more severe. And that would also knock off Trump's claim that he stopped the India-Pakistan war. Though that may not be the intention. But definitely India is gearing up, and many times the military authorities and the political authority has been telling us that whole thing, Operation Sindoor, is on pause. So therefore, I do not know what is happening on the border, but definitely our forces seem to be on very, very high alert. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And even as we speak about all this happening on our borders, there appears to be a thaw in India-United States relations. And United States right now is grappling with a shutdown of the government because this time Trump has changed tack. What he has also said is many of the federal employees may never come back to work. In other words, he may dismiss them for cause. See, we really don't know, viewers, how many people got added under the Biden administration in the rules of implementing DEI. And all these are supposed to be on probation, and the Democrats are conveniently hiding that part and just saying, oh, if you are a federal employee, you have no hope for future and things like this. Is like central government employees in India getting fired. I wish that happens. I mean, one can wish for a lot of things. But so this is one side. US is completely grappling with an internal issue. And at the same time, US needs to have a free trade agreement, according to me, with India, because if US doesn't do it, EU is willing to do it, or China has already expressed that it would like to do it, and Russia has always been with India in terms of being a good partner in thick and thin. So there's a lot of balls up in the air. Maybe a good time now for India and US to say, okay, these are 2 or 3 things that we don't agree on. We agree to disagree on that. For the rest, let's do a deal. That's what Shekhar ji is going to update us with. Over to you, sir.
Well, sir, there have been, despite the Trump administration being very critical of India about buying Russian oil, etc., there has been some, I would say, some kind of a thaw. The thaw in the sense, Trump's plan for Gaza. He announced, as soon as Trump announced this peace plan, after his talks with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, Prime Minister Modi was among the first leader, I would say, to welcome the plan. And the plan was because, Israel had struck at Hamas offices in Qatar. And obviously, some of the Arab nations, whom the US considers as key allies in the Middle East, they were very upset that despite they being, considered as protectorates of the US military, how Israel managed to strike at a building in Qatar where Hamas leaders had gathered to discuss a peace plan. So subsequent to that, Trump was upset that Netanyahu went and did it. Then he came with this plan. I mean, this plan was worked out after Marco Rubio visited all these Muslim countries in the Gulf region and came back. And this 21-point program, which Trump calls it the comprehensive plan to end Gaza conflict. And the initial response, after this plan was announced by President Trump, there was a lot of skepticism. In fact, among the Arab nations also, they did not respond very favorably, and because it immediately, first time, Trump talked of a ceasefire, which Israel had been resisting. The Israel's condition to end the war was to unconditionally release all the hostages still held. Those hostages, viewers, we must remember, they were taken hostage during the October 7th, 2023 attack at a music festival. And since then they have been held, and a lot of them have died, and right now at least 48 are believed to be alive. And Israel had made it clear, till you release the hostages, we'll completely annihilate Gaza. And Hamas have been using these hostages as shield. Hamas has been using women and children as shield. Even, with my whatever limited understanding, I could not understand why Hamas was persisting with holding these hostages. So when the peace plan was announced by Trump, India welcomed it. And today, sir, Hamas leadership has accepted the peace plan. And they promised to initiate the steps for releasing the hostages, because now it is going to be a swap deal. If the Israeli hostages are released, 250 odd Palestinian Hamas activists or terrorists, they'd be released from Israeli prisons. This is the best thing that can take book forward. And Trump's plan also includes reconstruction, and it also calls for establishment of a new authority, a Palestinian authority, to whom Hamas will cede control. And in today's announcement, Hamas has agreed to do that, has agreed to give up its control of the Gaza to a new Palestinian leadership. So these are positive things that have happened, and India has responded, saying that, look, these are positive developments. We welcome the Trump's plan. Now that the Hamas has also responded. Sir, in all this, there is one pumpkin in the story. The pumpkin in the story is Pakistan. Because when Trump Trump's plan was announced, they tried to gauge the Pakistan, the ministers, and they tried to gauge the mood of the Arab countries. They probably thought they are not happy with this plan because it gave some legitimacy to Israeli action thus far on Gaza and to that suffering that has been unleashed because of Israeli action against Hamas. So Pakistan rejected it, the peace plan, whereas India had welcomed it. Now, with realizing that actually Hamas doesn't think it's not bad, otherwise Trump had issued a warning by Sunday, that is October 5th evening, Hamas doesn't convey its readiness to accept this plan, Israel is free to do what to finish the job. So this new thing is thing, and then Trump asked Israel to stop bombing Gaza. Of course, even today, there was an airstrike and 6 people were killed in Gaza. But the latest is Trump has himself announced, he has thanked Israel that it has stopped bombing, though it may be temporary, but it at least shows that things are moving forward and decline. So Pakistan leaders now do not know what to do. Now that the plan has started rolling, now they are welcomed to the whole thing. But 2 days ago, they rejected this peace plan, thinking that most Arab nations didn't want it. Now today, seeing that Hamas has responded, they have welcomed it. I mean, even in responding to a situation like this, they should have waited for some time, at least for Trump's deadline to end. They didn't do that. Now, of course, the whole thing is, sir, for us also it's important because ultimately the Trump plan is also towards a 2-nation. Now, Trump came up with this plan for 2 reasons. One, the allies of the US in the region were very upset with Israel's action, particularly to the suffering that is unfolding in Gaza. 1. And 2, the fact that Israel decided to strike even inside their countries, that also upset the Arab leadership. That is 2. The third thing is, everybody wants the conflict to end there. And India too would see that if that conflict ends, it also takes away our fears as to in terms of energy security, about our supplies and things like that. And India thinks that if there is some positive thing happening here, it could again put pressure on Russia to end the Ukraine conflict also. So these are the things that have been happening, and that is what everybody has looked forward to. But the good news as we speak now is, as a sort of ceasefire has come into effect in Gaza, and we hope this will eventually lead to a situation where the Hamas will totally cease its activities in Gaza, and people, particularly the people who are suffering out there, will get relief. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's take a few questions now, if you don't mind, sir.
Sir.
Magnet Ranga wants to know, is RaGa the only option for Vijay's CM ambitions? DMK, BJP and ADMK will never allow that.
No, sir. Rahul Gandhi and Vijay have good equations. It's not that the first time Rahul has spoken to Vijay, because there are people who have been working to see that, they have been talking of in case things do not go well for the DMK or there are issues on this number of seats, that Congress should have an option. And Vijay also, if you notice, sir, he attacked everybody. He attacked BJP, he attacked DMK.
Secular.
And of late he has been attacking ADMK also. But he has never attacked the Congress. And today, Tribhuvan, an alliance partner, says he's making all kinds of allegations. He says even DMK has an understanding with BJP. An alliance partner who is currently in DMK front.
So don't take that fellow seriously, sir. He's a crook in my book.
What I'm saying, sir, Vijay has become such a disruptor for all parties there. And there are people like Manikam Tagore who have impressed upon K.C. Venugopal and Rahul Gandhi also, that if necessary, and we don't get good number of seats, and if Vijay's thing is picking up, we should, hitch our wagon to his campaign.
Next one, please. So all agrees to one thing, that BJP is A team and rest are B team of BJP.
Sir, today one DMK minister, Raghupati, says Vijay is the C team of BJP. So B team is ADMK, C team is, and who is the A team? BJP itself is the A team. This is what DMK. But one thing is, sir, what is finally going to happen, one cannot say with certainty now. But definitely alliance patterns are changing. The first signals are coming. It's possible before the first showers of the, your northeast monsoon hits Tamil Nadu, you could see some new patterns emerging as to parties changing sides.
Shekharji, have you heard of the song Money Can't Buy Me Love from Beatles? Very popular song. So now probably Stalin is singing Money Can't Buy Me Votes. So
yeah, that fear is real, sir. I mean, jokes apart,
yeah.
There is a fear that because of anti-incumbency and performance, nothing to boast about, and these last-minute kind of don'ts, opening this, opening that, medical care. I mean, all these things has taken the full 4 years, nothing happened, and suddenly things are happening. And so, therefore, there is a worry. And Arjuna is actually, he was in VCK and then came to join hands with Vijay. And earlier, Adav Arjuna was involved with DMK leadership also. As we all know, he's the son-in-law of that lottery king, San Martin, who was the highest buyer of electoral bonds, both for DMK and BJP. Sir.
Yes, indeed. The next question talks about that. Thank you so much, Subbayaji. Adav Arjun is son-in-law of Lottery King of Tamil Nadu and Basketball Federation of India President. Christian lobby, it is dangerous for BJP.
Sir, at the moment, BJP has 1 point goal. Come what may, the DMK should not return. फिर बाद में इनको निपटाएंगे, बाकी का जिनको निपटाना है. This is their view. They feel that if DMK is defeated and if DMK does not return, because Stalin was talking of, easy second term. That doesn't seem to be easy now. So there is a lot of tension in the DMK leadership. And if a CBI inquiry is ordered, because now they are going to come to the Supreme Court, and I believe Vijay is even hiring a very successful lawyer like Mukul Rohtagi to argue this case. That's what I was told. And Adav Arjuna's visit to Delhi was largely to examine to look for some high-profile lawyer to represent the party. I believe he also met Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress, who is also known as a good lawyer, very good lawyer. So therefore, Vijay is also taking steps because he needs some kind of protection now. And Adav Arjun because I am told even they may even plan to arrest Adav Arjun even in Delhi and take him to Chennai, because he was also among the person who was atop that bus when the tragedy happened in Karur. Sir.
Next one, Aprameya wants to know, Sir, Rajnath Singh, an army chief, warning to Pakistan. What is your? I think we talked about this.
Yeah, I think that's very clear. That is why I think there is something happening there which our military has definitely got a good sense of it. And this warning is to tell them, look, don't play mischief again. If you do, and we know where your guns are, where your aircraft is, where your bases are, and we will do it. Don't think just because Trump is on your side or there is some new equations between you and America. I mean, do not think that you can do anything and get away. I think that warning that was sought to be given and which to me appeared like a very, very a planned systemic thing. With the defense minister speaking first, then followed by our army chief, then by our air chief. Let's hope that Pakistan doesn't do any some mischief, but if it does, I think the consequences for Pakistan and Pakistani military leadership is going to be very severe.
Next one, please. Milban Cherian wants to know, so do you think there is an evil foreign hand interfering with us to break us up or create division? Sir.
Sir, we have to appreciate one thing, sir. India's growth story, amidst the kind of economic crisis we are seeing all around. Definitely there are forces, there are deep state who would see that, this is not new. Because when India was created by partition of India and Pakistan, after the partition, there were several people who said that India would collapse. The subcontinent cannot survive without a Western hand, having a say on their yay. But then we proved wrong. We proved all doomsday people wrong. And post 2014, with Modi taking charge, we have seen the kind of changes that are happening. Be it infrastructure, be it to promote new trade, or social welfare programs. So all these things have created a sense that, look, India is on the path of development. And this Prime Minister's Viksit Bharat campaign, this is not an empty slogan, they know it. Our opposition may not agree because it doesn't suit their politics to accept that any good is happening now under Modi. So therefore, they may say that, but the world is watching. What if India continues on this growth trajectory? Then what happens? What happens if really self-reliance and Atmanirbhar Bharat? So there are several forces, and you can always see that some groups are encouraged in the name of NGO activity and activism you have seen. So something is all the time happening, sir.
Sir, breaking news, YouTuber, my good friend, Maridas has been arrested for alleged defamatory post on the Karur stampede. But there are people with some opinions. They're saying Mathrubhumi is saying detained, then released, but rest of the media outlets are saying arrested. So this is the habit of DMK. They lash out. Maridas viewers, he's a BJP sympathizer, although I don't think he's a BJP party member. He used to be an assistant professor of computer science. He belongs to Madurai area. Very forthright, very outspoken. His PowerPoint presentations, format of doing YouTube videos is what really attracted people about the duplicity of the entire Dravida ecosystem. Very powerful speaker. He does use some harsh words, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have facts on his side. And DMK has always found him as an inconvenient thorn on their side. I think even ADMK did it because I remember the last time, okay, he has been released. That's good. Last time he was arrested, it was under ADMK. And this after, then ADMK minister called Mafoi Pandiyarajan called him up and said, you will not be arrested. This is under EPS. Viewers, I am under no illusions about ADMK, DMK. The only thing that separates them is the letter A. This rascal Sindhil Balaji used to be in ADMK. You go back and look at his claim to fame. How did he grow up? It's the sleaziest of ways in which he grew up. So what I'm trying to say is, what Shekharji is saying is absolutely spot on. First, you need to take out the big enemy. Then you will have to take out one by one, step by step, all these layers. Everyone has entrenched money, entrenched stuff. And amazing thing is, despite all this, Tamil Nadu is a fairly developed state. Only God is protecting that state, sir. That's all I can tell you. Thank you so much, Shekharji, because the neighboring state, Kerala, doesn't show that. See, there is a difference, a huge difference in the mindset of people. All the corruption in Tamil Nadu, everything happening, yet there is growth, there is progress. You can't see that in Kerala. Only now I'm seeing some green shoots. This is I'm not against anyone, okay? Kerala people, they're all my brothers and sisters. You're all somewhere. When you look at the state, right, there's something that is missing. Maybe you are ready for a non-Marxist rule and a non-Congress coalition rule. Maybe that's what Kerala needs. Then watch the thing, it will change. Sir, thank you so much, sir. This is the Maridas statement. He says that Karur விவகாரத்தில் உண்மைக்கு புறம்பாக எதுவும் பேசவில்லை. அடுத்து கைது நடவடிக்கைகள் திமுக மேற்கொண்டுள்ள காரணம் விஜய்க்கு நேற்று நீதிமன்றத்தில் நடந்த அநீதி என்று இன்று நான் உண்மையை உடைத்துதான் காரணம். I think there is the story about how I think a son of a DMK MLA who's a justice. I think you touched upon it, Shekharji. Maybe there was something there. See, what happens is when we come to English and say things are fairly sanitized. But in vernacular media, there's a little bit more truth. And I'm happy that I'm happy that he is released. And,
no, but what they've done is they took him today into custody, and then after some time released him, and then they served another summon to him to appear again. So basically, they are worried about the narratives that are coming out about the tragedy in Karur. And so there is a crackdown on YouTubers because all the channels are peddling the DMK narrative, which is to show that Vijay is the killer, which I mentioned at the beginning. So therefore, this is going on, sir.
Oh, wow. Nan Kaidanadal Kurvin. So this is the video, how DMK staged the drama yesterday. Today, I have provided full details of the reason why I was arrested. Maridas Answers is his X-handle, viewers. You can go there and you can watch it. And if he has auto dubbing on, you might be able to get it in English also. So thank you so much, Secretary. Interesting times ahead for Tamil Nadu. This Dravida ecosystem is very, very deep rooted, and they are past masters at winning elections and setting up narrative. Now their citadel is being challenged. I think that's why there is so much what I would call as Vaitla Puli Karakadena solrade. What do you say in English?
It's not exactly butterflies in the stomach, it's far worse than that.
Something like that. That is the situation right now. I'm not saying any specific individual. They have a problem and they'll have to find a way to fix it. Thank you so much, sir. This is very interesting story, and there are going to be more things happening. We'll be back with this Wednesday, Shekharji in Hindi. Namaskar, sir. Looking forward.
Namaskar. Shivratri.